The Phantom Killer, the unsolved mystery that terrorized Texas in the quiet village of Texarkana. Nestled between Texas and Arkansas where nothing ever happened except the occasional neighborhood barn. The most baffling murder case in American history began to unfold. It was the winter of 1946, on the evening of February 22nd, when 25-year-old Jimmy Hollis and his 19-year-old girlfriend Mary Jean decided to catch a movie at the local theater. Little did they know, it would be the last peaceful night their town would see for months. After the film, as they drove back to Mary's house, the couple pulled over on a secluded dirt road to talk. The air was cold, the night pitch black, with only the sound of crickets breaking the silence. Suddenly, a blinding flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing a tall man in a stark white mask standing just feet away. In an instant, Jimmy found himself staring down the barrel of a pistol. "I don't want to kill you, friend. Just do as I say, no arguments," the man whispered, his voice eerily calm. He forced them out of the car, ordered Jimmy to remove his pants. And before Mary could process what was happening, she heard two sickening cracks. Jimmy collapsed, blood pooling around his head. She tried to run, but her high heels betrayed her. The masked man yanked her back by her hair and beat her unconscious. By sheer luck, a passing car scared the attacker off, leaving the two victims bleeding on the dirt road. They were rushed to the hospital, where doctors discovered Jimmy had a severe skull fracture. But the local police, accustomed to violence in this border town, barely batted an eye. No one knew this was only the beginning. Exactly 1 month later, on the morning of March 24th, hunters stumbled upon two bodies inside an Oldsmobile parked in a lover's lane. The victims, 29-year-old Richard Griffin and 17-year-old Polly Ann, were still seated in the front, each with a single gunshot to the back of the head. Richard's pockets were turned inside out. Polly was sprawled across the back seat in a grotesque pose. Investigators noted something odd. The bullets came from a .32 Colt revolver, common, but not widely owned in the area. Stranger still, the dirt around the car bore clear footprints. But a heavy overnight rain had washed them all away, with no solid evidence. Police interrogated over 50 people and found nothing. Just 3 weeks later, on April 14th, the bodies of 15-year-old Betty Jo Booker and 16-year-old Paul Martin were discovered in a remote area. Paul lay on the dirt road with 4 bullets in his skull. Betty was found a kilometer into the woods, shot twice. The same .32 Colt had been used. This time, panic began to spread. Life in Texarkana became a nightmare. Families slept at the Grim Hotel, too terrified to stay home. Stores closed early. Men carried guns openly. Some even strung barbed wire around their houses. The local paper, the Texarkana Gazette, dubbed the killer the Phantom, publishing daily warnings. Then, on May 3rd, the most bizarre crime occurred. Farmer Virgil Starks, 37, was listening to the radio when a bullet shattered his window, striking his chest. His wife Katie heard the shot and found him bleeding. As she fled, the killer shot her twice in the face at close range. The bullets tore through her upper jaw. Yet she survived, miraculously escaping through the kitchen window, blood gushing from her wounds. This time, the weapon was different, a .22 caliber pistol, but police insisted it was the Phantom's work. Over 30 officers swarmed the scene, finding bloody footprints that vanished abruptly at the main road. Locals were now so terrified, they refused to open doors to police, fearing the killer might be posing as an officer. Lead investigator Tillman Johnson described the atmosphere. "People screamed through locked doors, demanding proof of our badges before letting us near. No one trusted anyone." Newspapers reported a flood of frantic calls to police, residents claiming they'd seen shadows or heard footsteps circling their homes. In a desperate move, authorities sent female officers undercover, dressed as civilians, to stroll with male partners in lovers' lanes as bait. But after 2 months of waiting, nothing. The Phantom had vanished as suddenly as he'd appeared. Years later, 2 suspects emerged. The first, H.B. Doody, a college student who killed himself, leaving a note: "If you wonder why I did this, believe me, if you'd committed 2 murders, you'd end up like me too." Records showed Doody knew some victims and had worked at their favorite theater, but police doubted his confession, suspecting he'd claimed crimes he didn't commit. The second suspect, ex-soldier Lee Swinney, was accused by his own wife, Peggy. Her testimony was erratic, first implicating him, then recanting. Yet she revealed chilling details only the killer would know. Like a discarded book near one crime scene, when arrested, Swinney was given truth serum. But the dose was too strong, leaving him comatose. With no confession, he was sentenced to life for car theft only to be released in 1973 due to lack of evidence. He died in a nursing home in 1994, never admitting or denying anything. Today, 75 years later, the Phantom Killer remains one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. Was it one man, several? Why did he stop? The questions linger. But for those who lived through it, the terror remains unforgettable. The night a phantom chose his victims in the dark and left without a trace.